So in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how I made $5,700, and it was quite a simple analysis, and I'm going to show you everything from start all the way to the end. So before we actually start with it, so let's just take a look at how the month of February 2026 is going for right now. So today we of course took a win, 5.7k. Then we have the last Thursday, we took a win of 5.17k. So this month for right now in total is just about 10k. So that's pretty great for me. We are just about like third in this month, I think, and we have loads of time to get our profits even bigger and to just scale a lot more on our trades. So the first thing is that I just want to show you exactly how it looks on some kind of scheme. So what I took today was just a simple retest. So we did something like this in the market, retested a fair value gap, and while retesting a fair value gap, we swept a liquidity. So in the same time we swept a sell side liquidity like this. We retested a higher time frame fair value gap, which is just a 4-hour and 1-hour fair value gap. We retested both of them, and after that, when we scaled on the lower time frame, so we had something like this with a sweep, we just saw a inversion of fair value gap that just made me buy into the market and of course target some kind of previous level. So all that I did for today is I just mapped out fair value gaps on the higher time frames that look like this, and on the lower time frame we had like movements like this, and then I mapped out liquidity. We had a fair value gap on the higher time frame. All I looked for was a liquidity sweep, tap into the fair value gap, and just a long setup off of that we perfectly got for our win. So let's move this out of the way and let's actually go to the chart. So right now I'm on the 1-minute chart. This is the market open, but before we do that, before we go into the market open, I want to show you the higher time frame picture. So first things first is if we go to the daily time frame, we can see that we just swept a lot of these lows. So we have this sweep, and then we don't have this sweep down here, but we just swept a lot of lows, and we just started being really bullish. So why do we know that we are bullish? Because why would this candle close exactly like this to the upside if we are not bullish? So we can just see a pure volume and momentum to the upside that is just indicating to us that we actually want to go there. The next step is we just go a time frame lower, which is a 4-hour time frame, and what we had at the time of the actual market open was we actually retraced to the fair value gap. So market came here, retested the fair value gap right here, and just bounced off of it and rejected off of it. So that's just a perfect kind of confluence for us to actually buy into the market. So that's exactly what happened on the market open. So we just started rejecting heavily from it. Also the 1-hour time frame, you can see absolutely the same thing. We had a fair value gap right here, a small one, and then we had here one that actually got disrespected, but then you can see this one got retested once and then twice. So the second time is going to be really important for us because this was after 9 a.m. so this was a 9:30 spike to the downside, and this one we retested at 5 a.m. we just don't care because we want to be trading at the market open. So when we actually right now go down to, let's say, 50-minute time frame, so we're just gradually going down the time frames, we can just see that kind of structure in the market. So we can see how the market was just creating some kind of structure to the downside, and you can see right here, and then we got that initial liquidity sweep at the 9:30 that actually led us into a long position. So if we right now go all the way down to, let's say, 5 minutes, and we go to the market open, which was right here, all we want to see is, if we want to, let's say, short the market, we really need to see some kind of big liquidity sweeps. I would say I would perfectly want to see this liquidity sweep for us to actually short the market. But for a longing the market, since we are in a fair value gap, we are about to get a liquidity sweep from here. All we need to do is just see this liquidity sweep, and then after that we are already inside of a fair value gap. If we get the setup to the upside, we just take it. So let's actually see on the 1-minute chart what exactly happened when the market opened. So I'm gonna mark out this low that was important for us, and right now it is 9:29. So if I play the market, you can just see a huge spike to the downside, leaving this huge fair value gap that all we needed is for us to actually disrespect it. You can see we rejected from it, and then after that we just kind of rejected from the downside again and then closed it perfectly. So this kind of made me think that this was not going to be good setup, because we just kind of rejected from it. But then after that, you can clearly see how the market tried to go to the downside. So try to go for, let's say, another sweep of liquidity down here, kind of manipulation leg, but we just completely rejected to the upside and perfectly closed above this fair value gap. The stop loss placement, I don't want to place it very tight like this, because you can see market is quite radical. I placed it on the bottom of this wick that just kind of made the initial move to the upside. I targeted 1-to-1 since we had loads of these little highs. I targeted 1-to-1, which is about like this high right here, but I just usually like to target 1-to-1s. So what exactly happened? If I play the market, you can see we just beautifully spiked to the upside, hitting one risk reward, and we even hit more later. We went a little bit more to the upside. We could have targeted this one, but 1-to-1 for me is just completely fine, because I just like to, you know, scalp the market, take those profits and just completely get out, because I made 5.7k on this trade. And if I just do that over and over again, I'm gonna just be golden. So that's all I care about, and that's basically it. It was pretty simple. After that, we just swept this liquidity, so I didn't want to look for any kind of longs, but shorts, I still didn't want to look at them, because we are kind of bullish on the 4-hour time frame. So you can see how we just rejected out of this fair value gap. So all I wanted to see was this high, and what happened later is exactly that. We took that high perfectly, and then after this I don't really have a bias, because what would I target if I want to enter some kind of shorts? What am I going to target? Like there is no structure that was left for us to target the market. If we had something like this, I can easily short the market targeting these lows, but like this, what am I going to target? Like literally nothing. This low or this low, but then it's way too far away from the current price. So that's it from me today, and I'm really happy with the session, and I hope you learned something, and I'm just gonna see you in the next one. Peace.